Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Lone Wolf Farms Training. I am Juan Johnson, your host for today on this August the 28th, 2023. And as the title read correctly, we will be discussing got guns and Jacksonville shooting. A very important topic. We need to have the conversation about the Jacksonville shooting. Before I go into details about that, before I get into my spiel, I need you to go to LWF Training. I repeat, go to lwftraining.com if you are interested in becoming a responsible gun owner and gun user. I repeat, if you want your wear and carry, your concealed carry, there are 16-hour courses on Fridays and Saturdays from 9 to 5 on both days and could extend to even Sunday, depending on the class size and if people are remembering or retaining the information. Um, you need to go to lwftraining.com. If you're interested in your HQL, which is your handgun qualification license, which allows you to be able to purchase a gun, the two are not the same. It's a 4.5 hour class. Go to lwftraining.com. Again, if you want laser tactical training, where if you're unsure about holding or you have your reservations about having a gun, but you still want some training, you can go to the Intro to Firearms, which is a 2 hour class. That can be done virtually, 2 hour class. And the laser tactical training also could be 2 hours. Again, go to lwftraining.com. If you want your renewals, if you're a gun owner already and you want your license renewed, I want you to go to lwftraining.com, or you can write me at lonewolffarm@gmail.com, and we will make sure that you get. We make sure that you get your license. Let me just put some things in place real quick. Make sure I'm on all these social media platforms. Again, if you are on, if you are on, if you are on YouTube, I need you to subscribe to YouTube. I need you to share, and I need you to like what you see or don't see. Again, man, I don't know why this thing is doing this. Bear with me, family. Bear with me. Okay, let me see something. Okay. All right. I think that we're back. I got it. I got what I need right now. Okay, got what I need. So again, renewals, again, lwtraining.com, or you can go to longwolffarmstraining@gmail.com. Let me know if you want to renew, and we will make it happen. So the title tonight again is "Got Guns in Jacksonville Shooting." Many of you know there was a shooting in Jacksonville on Saturday, and I have not had a chance to discuss it, but I'm going to do it on today. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So look, that shooting on Saturday was a targeted shooting, family. If you didn't know about it, it's the talk everywhere. I'm gonna go over that. Go over that Jacksonville shooting. It's the talk everywhere. I'm gonna read an article out the Associated Press. Okay, so we can just break this thing down. Break it on down. We had a white shooter who literally targeted those people in that store. If you've been listening to me for any amount of time, I have been saying time and time again that Black Americans, Foundation Black Americans, American descendant slaves, whatever you refer yourself to, whatever you answer uh, to that older generation, the Negro, colored, those who are indigenous to America, those who can trace their lineage, those whose blood is in the soil of this nation. When I say the blood of the soil, I'm talking about uh, before, if the American soil was to say one word, just one word, before it would utter a word, the blood of the ancestors will come through the soil. So I'm talking about the bloodline, the soil, those who identify with this soil, those who basically uh, are not familiar with another place to go. You always hear the saying, you know, go back to your Africa, go back to your country. Um, Black Americans, this is our country. According to the history book, 1619 was the day in Virginia when they brought us all here, according to history, to their history. So there's no going back nowhere. It's all staying here. And again, many of us was already here anyway, indigenous to this land. But I have been saying, and I'm going to continue to say, that Black Americans, I repeat, foundational Black Americans, okay, Native African Americans, indigenous to this country, whose lineage is in this soil, we belong in a protective class status. I repeat, we belong in a protective class status. Okay? And be slow and methodical with this. It seems like every year we're dealing with some type of targeting, attack, shooting against Black Americans. Okay? You had the Dylan Roof, you had the Buffalo shooting. It seems like we're always being targeted, and not by older white males. We're talking about these are young 18 and their 20-year-olds who are targeting Black Americans, and they're leaving manifestos as to why they're doing what they're doing, or they're doing what they did, or they did what they done. Now watch this, family. As a police officer, retired, okay, I've seen the worst. I've had the privilege to see the worst of us. I've seen the best of us, of all colors, okay? But I've also seen and lived through this targeting generation. And again, uh, we have to address this issue of Black Americans being targeted for destruction, for deletion. Okay, so I'm gonna go pull up this article from Associated Press. I'm gonna skim through it and see what we got so far. Jacksonville, Florida. A white man wearing a mask and firing a weapon emblazoned with a swastika gunned down 3 Black people Saturday in a racist attack in Jackson, Florida. The shooter, who has also posted racist writings, then killed himself. Here's what we know about the killings. Okay. The shooting happened Saturday afternoon at a Dollar General store in Newtown, a predominantly Black neighborhood of Jacksonville, Florida. The city has almost 1 million residents and lies just south of the Georgia border. About a third of Jacksonville's residents are Black. Just last week, a city council member committee pulled funding from a mayor's chief of diversity and inclusion. Let me, I don't want to deal with that right now. Okay. The store where the shooting took place is near Edward Waters University, a historically black school with about 1,000 residents. The school said the man was spotted on campus by security guard shortly before the shooting and asked to leave. When he refused to identify himself, he was seen putting on his bullet-resistant vest and mask before he drove away. Let me stop right there. He's at a predominantly black school. Okay. He was approached by security to leave. Security watched the man put on a bulletproof vest as he drove off. That right there is a green, that's a warning, warning, warning. Okay. It says Sunday that that's not the period that the seller intended to attack the school. The Dollar General store where the shooting occurred is a short walk for residents of Grand Park Jackson neighborhood, of a modest brick and cinder block homes. Okay, let me keep going here. I don't get about that. Keep going. Let me get to the shooter piece. Who are the victims? Angela Michelle Carr, 52, shot in her car outside of Dollar General. Angela Michelle Carr. A store employee, AJ Lagura, 19, was shot as he tried to flee, while customer Gerald Gallion, 29, was shot as he entered the store. No one else was injured. Okay. You have 3 people, 2 males, 1 female, 52-year-old female. Innocent blood shed. Who was the shooter? His name is Ryan Palmeter. He's 21, who lived in a neighboring Clay County with his parents. Sheriff Waters said Palmeter had been involved in a 2016 domestic violence incident that did not lead to an arrest and was involuntarily committed for a 72-hour mental health examination the following year. Palmeter used 2 guns in the shooting, a Glock handgun and an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle. Waters said they were purchased legally earlier this year. Okay. It says racism during the attack. Palmeter texted his father and told him to break into his room and check his computer. There, the father found a suicide note, a will, and a racist writing from his son, and racist writings from his son. The family notified authorities, but by then the shooting had already begun. The sheriff said officials, what was it? Done. Officials say they were writings to his family, federal law enforcement, and at least 1 media outlet. Sheriff Waters said that the shooter made clear in his writing that he hated Black people. Okay? He was very clear in his writing that he hated Black people. After the shooting, the school was put on lockdown for several hours and the students were kept in their dorms room for safety. School says no students or staff were involved in the shooting. He appears to be a lone wolf. He appears to be a lone wolf. Okay? Let me say this. I could go into this article. I want to read this. I don't think I want to read it more. The reactions from the governor, the reaction from the president, the reaction from the mayor. I don't know if I want to read that. So, this is what I want to say, family, about this whole incident right here, about this whole shooting piece. Number one, family, I have been saying for quite a few years that Black Americans need to be put in a protective class status, need to be put in a protective class status. You are not seeing other nationalities being attacked, targeted nationwide. Okay. They have a crime bill. They have a protected status for sanctuary cities for the who are our illegals that's coming through the borders. Okay. They have protected status for LGBTQ. Okay. They have protected status for your gays and lesbians. Okay. They have protected status for the Asian community. Okay. But we are not seeing a protected status for Black Americans. Okay. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, the article says that he's 21 years old, right? He's 21. Do you know he's not the only one out here from the dominant culture who has these feelings about killing blacks? We just had that shooting a couple of years ago in Buffalo. It was a targeted shooting. We had the shooting in Alabama with Dylan Roof in the church. That was a targeted shooting. And me, as a responsible gun owner and gun user, as a retired police officer, as a firearm instructor, and as a Black male who identifies as a Black American or a foundational Black American or a American descendant of slave or a Negro or colored, whatever they have classified us or whatever I to choose to answer to, depending on how I feel, I believe with everything in me that we should have a protective class status. Family, this will not be the last shooting of Black Americans from the dominant culture. Again, this brother was at a college campus initially, right? Asked to leave the campus, right? By the security. And the security officer says he began to put on a bulletproof vest. He's left a manifesto, family. He called his home. He called his father and told him to break into his room. Okay? Break into the room. And recover the items, his manifesto. Let me read that again. Let me read this again. During the attack, Paul Meter texted his father and told him to break into his room and check his computer. There, the father found a suicide note, a will, and a racist writings from his son. His son is only 20. His son is 21 years old. I know we keep pushing this inclusion. This can we all get along narrative. We can all get along, but we have to deal with the racism that's in some of our brothers and sisters of the dominant culture, and not just the dominant culture. I'm seeing some folks come from other countries with that same venom toward Black Americans. Again, when I come before you on social media and talk about the need to become responsible gun owners, gun users, It is not a suggestion. It's a right that you must participate in. When I tell you, had one of us, had somebody been a responsible gun owner, a concealed carry or a wear and carry, and could have saw that threat and stopped it, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. When I tell you that too many of us are leaving it up to the police departments or the National Guard or the Coast Guard or the sheriffs or the county police or the municipal police to protect us. When I tell you, we don't have enough police officers out here to protect all of us. When I tell you, it is your Second Amendment right to defend yourself. Okay? When I tell you, this young racist, this young white racist, I don't have to I don't have to fan the flames when he done left information, when he done called his father, told him to break inside my room and get my notes. What did he say? I'm gonna read this again. Paul Meter texted his father and told him to break into his room and check his computer. There, the father found a suicide note. When I say lone wolf, that's a lone wolf family. I know my company's lone wolf, so I understand the mindset of a lone wolf. It's a suicide mission, okay? The father found a suicide note and a will and a racist writings from his son. I need to see those writings because I need to see not just those writings. I need to see his Facebook page. I need to see his Twitter page. I need to see who his friends are because he is not alone, family. He is not alone. And I'm pretty sure that he's been influenced by others like the Dylan Roths, like the Buffalo shooter. All those were targeted shootings. And I would dare say he may have been even influenced by the Kyle Rittenhouses, who got off scot-free for his shooting. Okay. Family, as much as some of us don't want to deal with the system of racism from the dominant culture and the children that's being bred to hate Black people, some, not all. I won't use a broad brush, okay? But I know this for sure. Had one person or somebody been a wear and carry or concealed carry, responsible citizen with the privileges and the right to defend themselves from a domestic threat, that was a domestic threat, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So when I tell you, again, I don't want to try to get you to do guns out of fear and anxiety, but I know this, I want you to be out here in these streets a little more careful. I want you to become responsible gun owners and gun users. We've lost 3 innocent lives, 3 innocent lives, 3 innocent, they didn't even see it coming. They didn't see it coming. Angela Michelle Carr, 52 years old, was shot in her car outside the Dollar General store. She didn't even see it coming. Probably just putting on her seatbelt. Probably just trying to get away. Okay? A store employee, AJ, 19, was shot as he tried to flee. AJ didn't wake up that morning thinking he's been shot. And a customer, Gerald Gallion, 29, was shot as he entered the store. One in the car, you know, an employee and a customer. Innocent blood. Innocent blood. And we still got people wondering, questioning themselves, should I become a responsible gun owner, gun user? As a former police officer of almost 3 decades, who's sitting before you right now on multiple social media platforms, I encourage you today to become a responsible gun owner and gun user, to make sure that you are not a victim of a potential lone wolf, someone who premeditated, targeted members from the Black American community. He didn't target somebody from the Asian community. He didn't target nobody from the Jewish community. He didn't target nobody from the Spanish community. Matter of fact, the article says this, that the neighborhood is a predominantly Black neighborhood. This was intentional, family. Intentional. Okay? We need to really, really activate that self-preservation switch that has somehow been deactivated. Say this again. We have got to activate that self-preservation switch that has somehow been deactivated. When I say deactivated, I have never seen in my lifetime so many people who have convinced themselves that they don't need to protect themselves. And they are comfortable with waiting for somebody else to protect them. Again, had there been somebody who had gone through a gun class to become a wear and carry responsible gun owner who knows when and when not to stop the threat, this would not even be a story. This would not even be an issue. Okay? And I don't want to scare nobody into becoming gun owners or gun users, but I want to make you aware, especially in these areas, in these counties, in these cities where they are gun happy, shotguns, rifles, handguns, revolvers, and you may be the minority in that area. Okay? Trust me, when I travel this nation and go in certain places that I'm not familiar with, so watch this. When you're in the cities, it's a level of safety, level of comfort that you have. It's the your sensors don't really get activated per se until you start traveling those countrysides. When you leave the city and you start going those places you're not familiar with, and you deep in these mountains and these hills, and yes, you see the scenery, you love the views, but you know there's an underbelly threat that could be lying out there, that you could be pulled over, that you could be followed or chased by some unknown predators, like this predator that shot these people in Florida. That was a lone wolf, family. That was a predator. Intentionally, he shot these people. So I am pleading with my community and all those who are listening, who are watching this video. I need you to reconsider becoming responsible gun owners, gun users for this cause. Look, responsible citizens who take the time to become gun owners and gun users, they're going to uphold the law because we know the consequences that come with being responsible gun owners and gun users. We're not trying to go to jail for shooting rounds up in the air. We're not trying to go to jail for shooting people. We're trying to exercise our Second Amendment right. Okay? But again, this Jacksonville piece, it screams at me that we Black Americans need to be put in a protected class status. And we should be petitioning our congressmen, our senators, our elected officials, our fraternities, okay, our soras, our frats. We should be petitioning all these people who say they love Black people, right? We should be petitioning them to put Black Americans in a protected class status. How many Black Americans have to die from people who intentionally target us before we realize we need to protect them like we protect like we have the sanctuary cities, the sanctuary states for the illegals, for those who come across the borders and we don't illegally. You know, we need to be in a protected class status, family. We need to. And look, we are not going to mix. I am not going to start talking about white on white crime, Asian on Asian crime, or Latino on Latino crime. I'm talking about specifically, we have a lot of people from the dominant culture who have a very strong hatred toward Black Americans, and they are willing to become lone wolves and take out our people. Again, must I read the story? Jacksonville, Florida, a white man wearing a mask. He didn't even want to be seen, didn't even want to be recognized, and firing a weapon emblazoned with swastika on his gun. He had a swastika on his gun, family. Did not the shooter in Buffalo have swastikas and writings on his gun? These are intentional. These are premeditated. These are lone wolves. In a racist attack in Jackson, Florida, the shooter, who had also posted racist writings, then killed himself. That was a suicide mission. Okay? We have got to stop acting like everything is good. That these are isolated incidents. Family, the one thing I know about the Amish community, the one thing I know about the Asian community, the one thing I know about the Jewish community is this. When you attack one, it's an attack on all. You attack one Amish person, you've attacked the whole Amish community. You attack one Jewish person, you attack the whole Jewish collective. And the Black Americans must come to the realization and come to the understanding that if you're going to attack one of us, that means you've attacked all of us. Now, I understand that we're dealing with a new generation of Black Americans. The younger generation don't have the same fear as the older generation, which is good. Because for decades, Black Americans have sat on the sideline per se and been praying for some savior to come and protect them from the onslaught of racist attacks against our children, against the adults, and I mean, it's almost like they've been gripped in fear. I think what happened with the killing of some of our civil rights leaders, it paralyzed Black Americans. With the killing of Fred Hampton, with the killing of Malcolm X, with the killing of MLK, with the killing of so many good people trying to do good by the collective, I think that had a psychological effect on Black Americans, and it paralyzed them. So it just made them literally neutered. It literally neutered them. Okay, and you begin to see what just the killings. I remember uh, under the previous administration. No, no, I'm not gonna change this. Let me stick to my topic. I'm not gonna leave this. Let me give this Jacksonville, Florida piece its due diligence. I want you guys to realize this: that Black foundation of Black Americans. I say foundation. I don't even say African Americans no more. I don't say that. So if you hear foundation Black American, it would be the same as somewhat the old term African American. I identify with the soil of America. That's why I say foundation. I identify with the soil. Yes, everybody comes from Africa. All creeds and colors come from Africa. But I identify with this unique American culture right here, right now. Okay. And I'm saying to you that we have got to be put in a protective class as Black Americans. And you, or those who listen to me, you need to become responsible gun owners and gun users. If not for yourself, protect your family. Again, a 52-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 25-year-old were killed on Saturday by a white supremacist, racist. He said it in his own words. His father told his father to break down the door. Okay. So let's take this thing serious, family. We've had a lot of people out here, and you get some lone wolves out here in every state, in every city. He was 21 years old with a Glock and the AR-15. Let me go down here and see what some of our leaders said about this. The reaction from the nation says President Joe Biden, as of Monday morning, he had not yet spoken to any of the families whose loved ones were killed. He said two of the families indicated that they are preparing to hear from him, but that the other one does not want to be contacted. So you got two parents waiting to hear from him, and you got one that don't even contact him. They don't even want to hear from Joe. But he understood and he wanted to let the situation settle before.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Yeah, I'm seriously just eavesdropping. Everybody deals with profound life, profound loss in a different way, said Biden. The Florida rep, Andrew Nixon, we must be clear. It was not just racially motivated. It was racist violence that has been perpetrated by rhetoric and policies designed to attack Black people, period. Okay. The mayor, Donna Deegan, I've heard some people say that some of the rhetoric that we hear doesn't really represent what's in people's heart. It's just a game. It's just a political game. Those three people who lost their lives, that's not a game. Rudolph McKenzie, a senior pastor of the historic Bethel Church in Jackson, says, I begin to see the truth of it. My heart aches on several levels. Ron DeSantis said this guy killed himself rather than face the music and accept responsibility for his actions. He took the coward's way out. That's some of the quotes from the elected officials in Florida. But I just want family, you to realize this. We have lone wolves in every state. We have people who are waiting to take out their frustration on Black Americans. And I think, and I want you to become responsible gun owners, gun users. I don't know how many pastors are going to even talk about this on Sundays, how many imams. I don't know. I don't know if this is a conversation at the dinner table. I'm not sure. But I want you to know that you have somebody out here who promotes responsible gun ownership and users. And I need you to, whether you come to Lone Wolf Firearms Training, you don't have to come to me, but go somewhere. And even if you don't want to own the gun, learn about the parts, learn how to make the gun safe. Okay? It's just that serious. And again, I need you to make the connection that you're listening to somebody who did almost 3 decades in policing, retired. Okay. And from retirement, I became a firearm instructor. Okay. You're not just listening to some Black man ramble. I'm not mad. I'm not an angry person at all. I'm concerned. I want you to live. I want you to survive. I want you to live to be in the right old age. I want you to have some children, some grandchildren. I don't want racists targeting Black Americans for deletion, period. And if somebody would have been a responsible concealed carry, wear and carry, that threat could have been neutralized, period. I'm unapologetic in wanting you who are listening to me at this time to become responsible gun owners and gun users. Okay? Now, if you want to have the conversation, put something inside the chat. You got something you want to say, throw it inside the chat. I'll bring a comment. I'll bring it up. You know? I know a lot of parents are fearful of guns, but you have children. And you may not have no males in the house to protect you. I mean, look here. These people got killed just going to the Dollar General. Just to pick up one brother, he didn't go to work thinking he wasn't going to come back home. He going to get killed. That mother, that woman who was 52 years old, she's in her car minding her business, gets killed. And a customer just going to the store gets killed. Come on, family. Come on, family. It's time to wake up. It's really, really time to wake up. It's time to become responsible gun owners, gun users. Again, the security guard saw this man at the college. He was out of place. He was out of order. That's why you, as civilians, must become situational aware, or aware of your situation, or aware of your surroundings. You can no longer walk these streets like you're in a bubble and not paying attention to what's going on around you. Okay? All right. Again, I'm not going to hold you too much longer. I see some guys. I don't see everybody. I need you to share this video on the YouTube platform. Okay. I need you to like it and unlike it on the YouTube platform. Right now, we're being live. Right now, I'm live right now on Twitter. I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Facebook Live. I need you to subscribe to all 3 stations, all three platforms. Make me a friend. Okay. I need you to like the video and unlike the video. Okay. And there is the Cash App. If you want to make a donation, if you want to PayPal, it's all right there in the description. Okay. Again, you know I do guns. I'm a certified national handgun instructor from Rhode Island to California and all parts between. I can come to your state and I can give you the credentials. I can certify you, not just limited to one state. I am a national gun instructor. Okay. But I need you to be serious. We can do it. Be serious about becoming gun advocates, gun users, and gun owners. Okay. Again, I see you, Wayne. I see you, Frederick. I see you, Eric. I see you, Crystal. I see you, Rob. That's what I see right now. Um, Family, I need you guys to be safe out here in these streets. I need you to be safe out here in these streets. We're in a very volatile climate, and people are on the edge. We're in a very hostile climate, and people are on the edge. This is just the tip of the iceberg, family. It's a lot more these young lone wolves out here who are willing to risk it all. Okay? And you need to be careful out here in these streets. I mean that. You need to be careful. All right? If anybody has a question, you can put it inside the chat. I'll take a question, a comment. If not, I'm going to let you go. But again, I need you to go to lwftraining.com and sign up for gun classes. I need you to become responsible gun owners and gun users. Okay. The intro to basic firearms is a 2-hour class. That can be done online, family. That can be done virtually. You could be learning about the gun in the privacy of your own house. Okay. For that 16-hour course of wear and carry and or concealed carry, that's a 16-hour course. The first day is a virtual day, meaning from the confinements of your house, you can learn about that gun. And that second day is going to be a hands-on. We'll be cleaning. It'll be assembly, reassembly. We'll go over marksmanship, how to properly hold the gun, how to shoot, how to breathe, trigger control, sight alignment, okay, standing, okay, how to stand, okay. And we would talk about situational awareness, cover, concealment, okay, knowing, it's the two are not the same. The two are not the same, cover and concealment. How to get behind a bush or how to get behind a wall. Which one offers you the best protection, the wall or the bush? You know it's going to be a wall. Okay. But you don't want to have yourself wide open out there. Again, this situation in Florida could have been dealt with, handled differently, I believe, if we had some folks out here who were wear and carry or concealed carry. But it doesn't change the fact that we have a lot of lone wolves out here. And them lone wolves need to be dealt with. They need to be dealt with by law enforcement or by concerned citizens who know how to protect themselves from these lone wolves, especially when they are targeting individual or groups of people. Okay? So, with that said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. I don't see no comments. I don't see no questions. It's okay. I need you to share this video on your social media platforms. I need you to like this video. Like it, especially on YouTube, or unlike it. Again, I am in the process of building up my YouTube audience. If you want to donate, you can. The Cash App is right there. Again, when I come on these airways, I know a lot of y'all used to see me at partying, and I was out last night celebrating one of my homies' birthday. Salute to him. You know who he is. But we still have issues that must be dealt with, and that is why I'm here, dealing with the issues and trying to get you to become, again, responsible gun owners and gun users. Okay. So, with that said, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. You could be doing something else, but you're here. If you don't contact me, contact somebody. But please become responsible gun owners and gun users. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your city, protect your county, protect your state, and protect the nation if need be. This is why I exist. This is what I do. This is what I share. And this is what I want for you. Okay? This is what I want for you to become, again, responsible gun owners, gun users. All right? So, with that said, you will see me on tomorrow, same time, and we'll deal with another topic. But with that said, I want you to have a great evening. Uh, Praying for the families that lost their loved ones in that shooting on Saturday. Um, just praying for the loved ones. I'm praying for you. Again, God, guns. Cannot leave God out the equation. Have to have God in the equation. Okay. And I believe God wants you to have a gun. A couple of guns. A lot of guns. That's what I believe. So with that said, thank you again. Always remember, it is not how much you know, family. A lot of folks know a lot of things out here. They know a lot. It's not how much you know, family. I got a lot of real smart people out here. It's how much you care. And always remember, there is a lone wolf in you. A good lone wolf. Not like that coward who did that shooting in Florida. That was a coward. That was a coward wolf. I'm talking about a responsible lone wolf. There is one in you. And it's my job to bring them out so you can protect yourself, protect your family, protect the city, protect the county, protect your state, because you just may have to. And you may have to protect the culture, the nation. With that said, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.